The complex connections that are portrayed on Sister Wives are widely known to fans. The setting highlights intriguing family dynamics for the world to witness, which is why many people like the show. Fans are already getting a lot of storylines from the new season, but a recent social media post has them talking even more. This time, a member of the extended family who hasn't previously spoken up takes front stage instead of Kody or his wives. Fans have witnessed various Brown family members deal with polygamy in rather different ways throughout the course of the seasons. Fans now have a better understanding of the Brown family lore thanks to this new viewpoint. What has caused Kody's niece to reflect now? Why is what she said striking a chord with people online? To learn more, continue reading. Beyond what is seen, the Brown family has a long history of polygamy. Different family segments were already moving towards a multiple family even before the show started. As a result, there were several links that frequently overlapped and even appeared in the plot of the show. In addition to Kelsey, Kody's niece, disclosing her history of polygamy, Janelle has also previously discussed it. Janelle talked about how her past family members had practiced polygamy. When Janelle first expressed interest in the lifestyle, her mother was adamantly against it, she recounted. Her mother then became involved with Robyn Brown, the father of Kody Brown. Only a few months before to Janelle and Kody's marriage, the two even engaged in polygamy. These choices resulted in several connections over the years, which are now evident in the reality program. When Kelsey Mae Vandermeide revealed that she was Kody's niece, Sister Wives viewers were taken aback. When she uploaded a private Instagram post about her childhood, she made that announcement. Kelsey disclosed in her caption that she went to Kody and Robyn Brown's wedding during the show's filming, and that her stepmother is Kody's sister. She clarified that she refused to go on camera because she didn't want to be associated with polygamy. Kelsey said that the aspect of her early years that most embarrassed her was polygamy. She related how, during her mother's pregnancy, her father experimented with that custom and took on many spouses. Even her birth mother abandoned her father, thus those relationships eventually came to an end. Her father and stepmother were left together as a result. Although Kelsey expressed her affection for her stepmother and her family, she made it obvious that she opposes polygamy. She took this action because she believed it devalued women. Services for streaming TV online if she wanted to break away from the lifestyle. Some followers asked why she was speaking out in public. Numerous others even brought up the fact that she was now promoting her book and most likely needed some publicity. Others backed her, claiming that now that plural marriage is a reality, it is simpler to talk about it. While acknowledging that viewing Sister Wives does not imply endorsing polygamy, many fans expressed empathy for her views. Through the eyes of the Brown family, Sister Wives has provided viewers with a front-row seat to the contemporary breakdown of polygamy for many years. On camera, Kody Brown and his wives presented one side of the story. But there was another, more subdued version that was created by people who grew up close to the way of life and seen its customs, stresses, and contradictions firsthand. According to reports, that silence is now ending as Kody Brown's niece comes forward to openly discuss the family's history of polygamy, and her viewpoint is shocking the fandom. She doesn't sound like a reality TV star trying to get publicity or an irate ex-wife. It is the voice of a person who lived close to the epicenter and was influenced by the culture long before the cameras showed up. A legacy in the family constructed on silence. In the Brown family, polygamy was a legacy more than merely a marital arrangement. It came with expectations that were passed down through the generations, a strong reluctance to challenge authority, prudence when interacting with strangers, and allegiance to the concept. Early on, children and extended family members were taught that certain subjects were forbidden, particularly those that could negatively portray the way of life. These standards were all around Kody Brown as a child. He became a lightning rod for criticism as well as a symbol of progress when he became the vocal spokesperson for broadcast plural marriage. However, fame did not lessen the significance of inherited rules for family who were on the sidelines. According to family sources, Kody's niece spent years viewing the effects of polygamy from a distance, seeing males hold disproportionate authority that is justified by faith, women struggle with expectations, and children adjust to changing family patterns. She also said nothing. So far, why raise your voice now? There has been a lot of conjecture over the timing of her choice. After all these years, why break the silence? Some people think that honesty was made possible by the Brown family's disintegration. Speaking out became less taboo as relationships broke down, marriages failed, and adult children started publicly denouncing polygamy. Others contend that the departure of Kody Brown and her subsequent happiness marked a sea change. The long-held notion that abandoning the lifestyle will necessarily result in suffering or moral failure was challenged by witnessing someone leave and prosper. The event might have seemed inevitable to Kody's niece. Once presented as loyalty, silence started to feel like complicity. Inside the upbringing of polygamy, according to reports, Kody's niece presents a picture in her purported remarks that stands in stark contrast to the big happy family narrative that was once marketed on television. She characterizes polygamy as a hierarchy rather than an equal partnership, where women fought for emotional stability, attention, and approval, frequently at the price of their own needs. Youngsters were able to quickly gauge the emotional climate and adjust to stress even when it wasn't spoken. Her emphasis on normalization was what many fans found most striking. Instead of being called dysfunction, it was reframed as sacrifice, trust, or patience. According to one insider, you don't realize how abnormal it is when you grow up in it. You simply learn to get by. The need to act faithfully, the extent to which performance was ingrained in the culture, is arguably the most illuminating feature of her story. Not only was polygamy practiced, but it was also supported. Even when they were struggling in private, family members were obliged to defend their decisions to outsiders. They discouraged doubt. Social exclusion or spiritual humiliation may result from questioning the system. This pressure led to an emotional struggle among younger relatives, such as Kody's niece. Honor your family or honor your truth. Therefore, breaking the silence becomes an act of healing as well as defiance. A different view of Kody Brown. Although Kody isn't the direct focus of her revelations, they unavoidably have an impact on him. Being the family's most prominent polygamist, his leadership style and convictions influenced how the outside world saw the way of life. According to her viewpoint, the problems that viewers saw on Sister Wives were not isolated incidents, but rather recurring themes. Favoritism, emotional neglect, and control were not created by reality TV. They were reminders of a system that expected women to live in silence while concentrating power in the hands of men. Fans have always suspected this, and her voice confirms it. The women who were left to bear the burden, the women, are one of the most poignant aspects of her story. According to reports, she talks with great empathy for the spouses, both current and former, who had to deal with polygamy's constricting choices and demanding expectations. Love wasn't the only factor in marriage. It was about upholding the family image, fecundity, and obedience. Leaving was portrayed as a sign of failure rather than empowerment. Because of this, Kody's departure struck a profound chord with both viewers and her extended family, who understood the bravery required to go. Offspring of polygamy. The Invisible Effects. Kody's niece allegedly emphasizes the children's perspective, an angle that is rarely honestly examined, whereas Sister Wives frequently concentrated on adult interactions. Growing up in polygamy required learning to share everything, including emotional safety, attention, and space. Some kids did well. Others thought they were invisible. Many adult children are only now dealing with the lingering effects of parental favoritism, the instability of moving families, and unspoken competitiveness. Her tale is striking because she is willing to openly identify those impacts. Fans' reaction, confirmation, and approval. The reaction from the fandom has been swift and powerful. Viewers argued for years over whether the show exposed or glorified polygamy. Many now believe that her story validates their long-held suspicions. One fan said on the internet, "This explains so much." Another person remarked, "Kody wasn't traumatic, she was surviving." TLC never displayed this side. Her narrative has brought relief and acknowledgement to people who grew up in similar circumstances. The price of speaking the truth. There are repercussions for speaking out against a close-knit, religious society. Relationships within the extended family may be strained. Old wounds might come back. However, those with knowledge of her choice say that Kody's niece is aware of the price and is willing to pay it. She thinks the suffering is worth the truth. By speaking up, she's not only revisiting the past but also making others feel less alone as they face their own. What this signifies for the legacy of Sister Wives. Stories like hers add complexity to the story as Sister Wives develops. The original intent of the show was to normalize polygamy. It can conclude as a warning. Her voice gives the swelling chorus of former insiders raising concerns about the viability and morality of the system, more nuance, perspective, and legitimacy. Those who experienced polygamy are now examining the practice, which was previously justified as misinterpreted. A fresh era of integrity breaking her silence isn't about destroying family, according to Kody Brown's niece. It's about speaking the truth, unvarnished by performance, fear, or filters. Love, faith, and resiliency are not erased by her story. It does not, however, romanticize the sacrifice that necessitated silence. By doing this, she becomes part of an increasing number of voices, including those of women, children, and family members, who are at last speaking up about things that were previously prohibited. The most significant discoveries don't always originate from the center of attention.